Remarkable has been the beneficiary of a lot of excitement in the e-ink community since it announced the Remarkable Paper Pro. Much has been made of the excellent colors that device's Gallery 3 e-ink based screen is capable of creating. But how does the excellently calibrated Kaleido 3 color e-ink screen on the Kobo Libra Colour stand up? Before you go pro, here's a few things you'd better know. The Remarkable Paper Pro is definitely an impressive device and is absolutely capable of rendering some beautiful colors and detailed images. Featuring a unique 11.8-inch Gallery 3 e-ink based color display, the reading experience for documents like PDFs is considerably different than the 7-inch Kobo Libra Colour, which I'm comparing it against here. However, the Kobo Libra Colour features, arguably, one of the best calibrated Kaleido 3 color e-ink displays currently on the market. These devices use different e-ink technologies to achieve color. While the Kobo Libra Colour is using a Kaleido 3 e-ink screen, which essentially is a normal black and white e-ink screen with a fine mesh of colored dots above it used to generate its color. See my Color is Key video for a longer explanation on that. The Remarkable Paper Pro is using a custom version of Gallery 3 e-ink, which is essentially like normal e-ink, but actually has cyan, magenta, yellow, and white pigments physically present in each e-ink microcup structure making up the screen. Pitting the two devices against each other yields some pretty surprising results. But just to let you know, in all these tests, unless otherwise stated, the Remarkable Paper Pro's front light is at 100% brightness, and the Kobo Libra Colour's front light is at 60% brightness. With that out of the way, let's jump into it. Green with envy? When the Remarkable Paper Pro was launched, a lot of people were curious about how it would handle the color green. It turns out that cautious skepticism seems to be entirely appropriate. Here are a few examples where I was pretty shocked at just how much deeper and more vivid the green and teal shades looked on the Kobo Libra Colour. As you can see here, this was a recurring theme in pretty much any image I tried on both devices. Sometimes the Remarkable Paper Pro seemed to change the intended color of the image entirely, like in this case, where a deep teal-like green was instead displayed as an almost grayscale image with a hint of blue. Other times, the color green seemed to be replaced by an almost solidly yellow hue on the Remarkable Paper Pro. This image here is about the deepest green I've personally seen the Remarkable Paper Pro manage so far, but as you can see, the Kobo Libra Colour still manages a better approximation of the actual intended color. Sometimes the Remarkable Paper Pro would even go so far as to almost entirely exclude important shades of green and replace these with a nearly solidly blue rendering, as seen in how it displayed this view of an underwater vista. Contrast and detail, blues and whites. Contrast, especially concerning text on pages, also seemed to be generally better on the Kobo Libra Colour. This was especially true with white or lighter colored text, to the point that, in certain images, you weren't really able to easily read parts of the text on the Remarkable Paper Pro. The Remarkable Paper Pro does have a contrast enhancement mode. However, I found that, with this mode turned on, images on the device tend to not look great. Contrast in images is another area where the Kobo Libra Colour tends to pull ahead of the Remarkable Paper Pro. Whether it comes to showing better separation between people and the backgrounds behind them, better edging detail around subjects, and a better sense of, say, lighter colored fabric textures, or displaying shading and outlines on objects, the Kobo Libra Colour just seems to do this better than the Remarkable Paper Pro in most images I tried. This particular image is a good example of just how poorly the Remarkable Paper Pro can present image contrast at times. I mean, just look at how the Kobo Libra Colour shows the volumetric shading, outlines, and whole detail of these toothbrushes, whereas on the Remarkable Paper Pro, you essentially just see the colored bristles floating in midair. This brings up another pattern I observed in this image and color comparison. The Remarkable Paper Pro seems to have difficulty accurately representing both certain shades of gray to light blue, as well as objects that are white. For blues, this takes several different forms, but generally it seems that if the shades of blue or gray are light enough, the Remarkable Paper Pro will often just treat these as a transparent background color and show these as solidly white. For example, the very light blue grayish appearance of these background patches of color on this chart. They show up fairly well on the Kobo Libra Colour, but just seem to disappear on the Remarkable Paper Pro entirely, which may be a problem for certain academic uses. Other times, this issue can result in images having a blown out or overexposed background, which tends to omit much of the detail present in the original image. For example, in this image, while you can see most of the people at the table fairly well, nearly all detail in the surrounding image, including the floor and shadows from the window, are essentially gone on the Remarkable Paper Pro. Unfortunately, the Remarkable Paper Pro's issues with blue hues don't stop there. In nearly every image I tried in my tests, the Remarkable Paper Pro always seemed to try to display any shade of blue as a darker, almost cobalt blue. Whether this made sense or not, light blue, cerulean blue, seafoam, aquamarine blue, it really almost made no difference, and in the end, all these shades appeared as more of a cobalt or a dark blue on the Remarkable Paper Pro, when even the Remarkable Paper Pro detects that rendering certain blues, or greens for that matter, is beyond what it can achieve. The device will sometimes seemingly almost not even attempt to show those areas of the image. For example, pay close attention to the images on the border of this ancient Egyptian piece of art. This comes across pretty well on the Kobo Libra Colour, but the Remarkable Paper Pro version is left nearly entirely drained of the rich blue and green hues in the border, and even some of the actual plants and trees in the picture are barely visible. My conclusion from this is, at least at the moment, if you're relying on images for visual information or true fidelity, I think you'd have to be pretty careful before investing in a Remarkable Paper Pro for that use case. Additionally, since the Remarkable Paper Pro has no true black pigments, I thought it would be interesting to compare black and white images between these two devices. While the Remarkable Paper Pro does an okay job of displaying these, I do think the Kobo Libra Colour still does a better job overall at contrast and detail on these images. For example, see all the extra details you can see on this woman's hand, the items on the table, and even the ruffles in the fabric of her blouse in this image. Reds, purples, and yellows. Oh my. Now, where the Remarkable Paper Pro really shines is in its presentation of reds, yellows, oranges, and purples. Yellow seems like the color the Remarkable Paper Pro is most expert at displaying, and while I'd argue the Kobo Libra Colour does pretty well at times, the Remarkable definitely has a strong edge here. Sometimes this looks really spectacular, like this image of an Indian dancer. The Remarkable Paper Pro also does really well at displaying images with a lot of reds and oranges and purples, or images with any hues in between. The Remarkable Paper Pro's general excellence at displaying all these colors also means that the device does a great job at displaying human skin tones with a rich vibrancy, and this seemed to be the case across many different skin tones as well. I also was very impressed almost any time the Remarkable Paper Pro displayed ochre colors or wooden objects on its screen. These seem to almost reach magazine quality, in my opinion, and that's really something for e-ink. This particular rendition of a collection of ancient Egyptian objects was a really good example of how well the Remarkable Paper Pro can translate a digital image, at least when it falls within certain color groups, to a physical one on its screen. Interestingly, there were a few times where I felt that the Kobo Libra Colour displayed certain of these same colors better, probably due to the Kobo's generally enhanced abilities in contrast and detail. Have a look at this image of a red coral structure. In my opinion, the Kobo Libra Colour is doing the better job here. Anyway, just kind of interesting. To essentially have one image that shows most of the strengths and weaknesses of each device, I decided to show one last comparison image using a custom graphic that I created. So basically, I think this footage sums it up well. Greens and blues shine on the Kobo Libra Colour, and I think it has a greater range of colors overall, whereas yellows, oranges, purples, and reds really pop on the Remarkable Paper Pro. Hopefully this gives you a better idea about the ranges of color you can expect from either type of e-ink screen. In case you were wondering if the recent Remarkable OS update to version 3.15 has helped the color range on the Remarkable Paper Pro, I'd have to say that it doesn't look like it's done that much. Oh, and feel free to pause the screen here at any time. Originally, I thought there might be a slight difference that I saw in the colors after the update, but upon comparing the new post 3.15 update footage to the previous footage, I have to say that if there is a difference in how the device is displaying color, it's pretty subtle. Anyway, thought you might want to know. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, then why not give it a digital like? And subscribe to encourage more Inktelligent videos like this one. One other thing I think you should know about the Remarkable Paper Pro is that, at least on my model, it didn't really like turning pages all that much. You can do this. Thank you. The page, that's really, why is this so hard? If we can, page, I'm not going to grade you on it. Look, if we can. Come on, I can't get through it if this is going to happen. It's like the Remarkable knows that. Turn the page, please. Jeez. Okay. Just turn the page. Huh? All right, we're going to play it this way.